Welcome back to Kind of Funny's Fast and Furious in Review. That's right. We are reviewing and ranking every single Fast and Furious movie. I'm Tim Gettys. This is Andy Cortez. That is Kevin Coelho over there. We got Greg Miller, and rounding me out to my left, my immediate left.
Yeah, you get it
Nick
right.
Scarpino.
Get it right.
Get it
you
right.
know what I mean?
Get it right. Get it tight.
Did you get any sleep last night? Did anyone get any sleep last night?
I got sleep last night.
So yeah, I took like a 2-hour nap and then went to bed at like 8.
Yeah, it was good.
It was great.
Took a 6-hour nap.
Oh, you're better. What are you, fucking better than me?
During the day.
Is that what you are?
I mean, yeah.
That felt
Didn't want
great.
to say it, but
Last night I fell asleep and I was like, I started doing that thing where I'm like, just one more Office. Just one more Office.
Oh, man.
And I got halfway through one episode. I was like, I can wait this out. It's 7 minutes longer. And I was like, no, I want to enjoy this. I decided we need to get a spray bottle in the office.
For spray bottle?
Yeah,
I'm not saying
when
for-
they're driving, he's spraying people in the face.
You can get this show live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Or you can get it later on youtube.com/kindoffunny, or you can listen to it on podcast services wherever you want. Just search for Kind of Funny Reviews and you'll find this show. This week, we are reviewing The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Oh boy.
Finally.
I feel like this is where people decided over at Universal were like, let's maybe start making this a real movie. You know? Like the first two are just a hodgepodge mess of like 50 different people sitting around a table trying to figure out what's cool.
What's cool?
Yeah. And then this is like, or we'll just take a step back and actually try to write a movie where the main character has some level of like arc and like you actually have real emotional connections. Like you start feeling you're like oh Han, like I buy that Han and Lucas Black's character are becoming friends. I buy this relationship with him and the other guy Jean. Like it's actually a very well structured like fun movie to watch.
I also really appreciate that they were just like, hey, let's get the biggest loser to be the main actor of all time. Why is it this guy?
See, you guys all
How
have
do you
a
go from
problem
Paul
with
Walker?
that.
How do you go from Dom, Vin Diesel
First off,
to this dude?
Paul Walker, R.I.P. Love Paul Walker. Love Vin Diesel. Neither of them ever learned to act. That was like, it was like working out, making money, 50 other things, maybe learning how to have accurate screen presence and not smile every 5 seconds.
They have
on
screen presence.
They have zero screen presence.
They have a lot.
It's
If they have
absurd.
anything, it's presence.
In the first one, no. They're just ridiculous. None of them know how to hold a scene.
Vin Diesel's not a bad actor.
He's a terrible actor.
Not compared to the other guys.
He's the Ben Affleck of actors. That's what he is.
The guy who plays Sean in this movie is arguably one of the worst actors I've ever seen.
I didn't think he was that bad. I thought
He looks so old.
he does look old.
He doesn't
He's
look
just
like a
normal
high school
I know,
student.
here's the thing, he's not that old.
Really?
He's 36 in real life right now.
All right.
What? Like, how fucking crazy is that?
He looks 40 in the
He was 40. And so getting back to, let's get straight into it right now. Facts of the Furious.
We got information if you're curious. So here's the facts of the Furious. Facts of the Furious. You guys still aren't fucking doing that. Jesus Christ.
It's hard, man.
Well,
It's hard.
Facts of the Furious.
Do it again, right? Just sing the last lit.
Facts of the Furious.
Did I get it?
You just want to sing it along with
Did it better than
Facts
me.
of the Furious.
All right, that's enough. That's the third
Paul
time.
Walker
Give it to me
wasn't
one
asked-
time from the top.
Paul Walker wasn't asked to return for the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift as the studio felt he was too old.
Yeah, he's old as fuck.
And then they chose Lucas Black.
Well, no, I mean, Paul Walker would have been. There's no way Paul Walker, after we saw him in everything, would have passed for anywhere close to like what
Yeah,
Lucas Black is.
that
If they
wouldn't
wanted a
have
high school
worked.
kid, you gotta have a high school kid.
Well, yeah, that
But they
makes
didn't
sense.
pick
But they
the
didn't
most
need to
high
have a
school
high school.
That is true.
Oh, no, they totally needed to for this weird subplot that everyone in the fucking race world is somehow connected to this high school. And this guy, this adult's dating this high schooler. And not even dating, is she just being kept against her will? I'm sorry, guys. This movie sucks. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know what you see in it. Lucas Black is nails on a chalkboard. Every fucking line he chokes out. I'm like, shut up. Han's great, of course. Don't get me wrong. Them totally like, what's just the tropiest way to use this girl? Use her that way. She has no emotions of her own. She's trapped in the beginning when they're like, "You're
fucking
racing,
drifts,
you're
though,
racing
dog.
for me." All right, that's terrible, but
Yeah,
okay, we'll get
horrible.
past it because it's whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Type
It's
Ryan,
whatever.
baby.
And then we get here, and then it's just the same thing with this girl, where she's in this relationship she doesn't want to be in, apparently because he's abusive, somehow nephew of a Yakuza or whatever. And then, but he still is. And then he treats her like shit, but she never speaks up for herself or does anything about it. And then it's just got to over time slowly evolve till she makes them. She's just a prop in this thing. This movie
It's a culture.
sucks.
It's a culture, baby.
It's
different.
Wabaki.
She teaches. She
Wabaki.
can drift though, dog.
She can drift. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. Yeah, okay, cool.
See, I
She
like
can fucking drift.
I like her character, and I like her character specifically in regards to Lucas Black. Like, this is why I like this movie, is because the way he starts, and even the first things that we see him do are very indicative of like, are contrary to where he's at the end of the story. And that to me is why where the Fast and Furious movies actually start becoming real movies, is that he starts off like, we see his total apathy toward everything. We have the great scene where the kid gets dragged into the back when they're like during the montage at the beginning, and he's like, I'm gonna go see what's up, and he grabs the wrench. The wrench is like very thematic of what he has, like this big dumb blunt instrument, and he walks back there and he realizes the kid's not really being hurt that much, and he's like, I don't have a fucking.
I mean, it seemed like an awful. Like he was.
Oh no, mentally,
yeah,
the
the
kid's
kid was
scarred for
good.
life.
Yeah.
But he was like, it's
think
not
it's-
really.
it wasn't worth it.
He's like,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
worth
yeah.
it, right? And that is the theme that we find this character at the beginning. It's not worth it. Nothing's worth it. I've got nothing to, for lack of a better term, drift for, right? And even the idea of
There's many better terms
There
you
were
could have
so
used.
many
well, I mean, you know,
I
what
love
I
it.
mean, like, when he finds drifting, he finds a purpose and he finds something to fight for, right? Like, and also the idea of like, I'm very much stretching here, but the idea of drifting in general, like he is a drifter. He's going from town to town. He just has no connection to anything. And then by the end of it, and I disagree a little bit because yes, the character didn't do anything. Although she does stand up for herself at the end. She breaks up with him and he pulls a gun on her, and that's when they have to use their smarts and their drifting ability to fight the guy.
That makes sense.
But
Drift
nothing
laughing
makes sense
line.
in this world of. By the way, Japan is a place where there is zero crime. If there was an underground like street fucking racing ring there, they'd be like, we're gonna put a stop.
If
to
you
this
go
immediately.
over 190 kilometers,
They're not even gonna come
they
at
First
you.
off,
follow you.
show of hands, who's been to Japan? You ever seen a freeway where you can go 190 kilometers at one point?
No.
It is bumper to bumper traffic everywhere. Anyway, I digress. Maybe not 4 o'clock in the morning, but whatever. But this is what I like about this, right? Is like he actually has that connection. He has the connection with Han. Like Han is what
And
he.
Twinkie.
Oh god.
Yeah, dude.
That's
Why
one of
would
my
they
biggest
name him
problems
that?
with this movie, though, is that like, why do they shoehorn Bow Wow into every fucking scene? Like, why would Han let Bow Wow, this high school kid who's selling fucking knockoff Jordans, hang out at his cool party? And then he's got that thing where he's like, you want to get the ladies? Hey, ladies, American Snickers. And I'm like, you're trying to like impress these hot women
These
at this
models,
party with these
because
models
he's the funny little guy.
with an American Snickers bar?
He
Like, how
also gets to
insulting
break
is
the
that?
fourth wall on the elevator and wink at us.
Really?
Like, all right.
That was so good, though. I like that.
Fucking
Really,
Bow
really
Wow.
bizarre.
Released on June 16th, 2006. Directed by Justin Lin, who also directed Better Luck Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fast 4 through 6 will go on in the future from now to direct Fast 9 and 10. And also directed Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah.
So kind of a mismatch of like fucking classics and
What, for him?
Beyond was a fun movie.
you know, he's got his style, and I think Justin Lin's style has actually defined Fast and Furious. I think this movie looks a ton better than everything that came before it.
Fair.
And the big, most notable change is that I think they did like a lot of the drifting practically.
it was practical.
Like the part where they drift up the fucking the circular
structure.
spiral
Yeah.
of parking structure.
So cool.
It's a practical thing,
Awesome.
and that's dope as fuck. And you feel it, right? All that stuff. Like, granted, when they're going through the hills, it looks like a video game. But beyond that, I'm like, yes, thank you. This is a movie about cars. We should get some talented people to drive the fucking cars.
Little facts of the Furious. The drifting in the movie was not CGI. It was performed by professional drivers, as reported in Sport Compact Cars. Riz Millen, his father Rod, and a handful of other famous rally and drift racers consistently performed amazing drift sequences for the movie. In fact, Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 8 and 2 of the VW R32s were converted from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive so they could drift properly. So they took the American cars in the movie, and like the one we see at the end, like they actually had to gut the car out and essentially put the top of it on Japanese cars. So
Yeah,
they could-
there's a
Tim,
that
they
makes
did
sense.
that in the movie.
That makes
that
sense.
is true, but they really did that.
There's
though.
there's a couple shots where the cars get flipped over and you realize they have zero transmission or drivetrain. That's just like, it's just the axles in the back and nothing on the bottom. I'm like, that's just a shell car.
It
That's
was
hilarious.
so practical that over 100 cars were destroyed during
Yeah.
production.
Wow.
But I mean, but I mean,
And
honestly,
4,000 tires.
that goes a long way because you actually yeah. I mean, it really adds to the production
totally
value
does.
of the movie.
Yeah. Budget of $85 million, box office of $158 million, runtime of an hour and 44 minutes. Remember, we're avoiding future spoilers for the franchise. So we're only talking about what happened up until 3 so far. Greg?
Yeah.
Plot, 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 plot.
Here's the plot now! So, everybody, welcome to
It must have
fucking...
been so fun for audio listeners listening with earbuds.
They love it. It's Tokyo Drift. We are in a fucking town. It's a high
Alabama.
school town. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They move
Bama
around
boy,
a lot.
69.
Yeah, I know he's Alabama. Trust me, as he chokes out this terrible fucking accent in sound. Literally, it's like, hey, what's my line? How do you drift? Thanks. How do you drift? But it's with a bad accent. Terrible.
There had to have been. It did get a little sling bladey at a moment.
Thank you. They move around so much, though. Are they still in Alabama? He's from Alabama. Yes. Again, I get it. The accent drives it home.
I don't think they're in Alabama because
Yeah.
no one else has an accent at
Exactly.
this amazing
Thank you.
high school.
Fair.
Thank you.
But I
But
could be
Zachary Ty
wrong.
Bryan's there. I love
course,
in the
and
high
I
school
love it, love
that there's metal detectors and stuff. But I will say immediately, one of the reasons I love this movie, the soundtrack is amazing.
Oh, this
And
fucking-
that,
that first song is dope.
song in the beginning is
It's
so
dope.
fucking tight.
But it's weird because we get that there's metal detectors. People are getting bullied. There's gangsters at this high school, and you're like, this kid is in a rough place. He's a tough guy in a rough place. Except we also have $80,000 Vipers in the parking lot. Like, what rich guy would let his kid go to this fucking school?
He's the fucking star of the
Tim
quarterback.
Allen.
He's got the star.
Tim Allen.
I do like to imagine that. Yeah, that's how it is.
That's his
Yeah,
home
yeah.
improvement,
This is
like
the whole,
that.
so they're in Michigan. Yeah, so that's happening. School's bad. He's just drifting through it, as Nick said. He goes to classes. He hates it. He comes in. He looks at the fucking mascot when they're getting metal detected. Like, we're getting metal detected, dude. And the guy's like, fuck, we are.
Like, why did
All
you
right.
drive to school in that mascot car? Like, what else are you doing in that mascot costume?
Exactly. So we go through the school day with him, and he's not happy. He doesn't like his life. He goes to the shop class or automotive class or whatever, and there's a kid getting fucking spray painted in there. Everybody's passed out. It's like, oh my god,
Sad.
Yeah, the
what a
teacher did
terrible
not give a
existence.
damn.
What a
Well,
terrible.
sad
It's
stuff.
an indictment of
teacher.
public schools. This is a documentary here.
Yeah,
Where is the funding? Where is the funding?
Where
You
is
know
the
what I mean?
funding?
Even
Pay
though
more.
that's an awesome shop class. It seems
That's,
like they're having.
that's an amazing shop
Yeah,
class.
exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's time to go outside, and then we go outside. Yeah, and there's the Viper parked next to his whatever American car.
Yeah,
It's a
I don't
beater.
know. I can't remember what
But
it
it's not a beater. It's like a really nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you're a
inside
racer,
it was really-
whatever. Yeah, Tabasco bottle again.
Right.
Let's drive home. He's Southern. All right,
Yeah.
Louisiana,
Yeah,
Alabama.
that's
He's down
awesome.
there from somewhere in
Listen,
there. You know?
man,
West
Andy doesn't go
Virginia.
anywhere without that spicy ketchup from Whataburger.
That's
But he's
it.
got some on him right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
By the way, my wife loved that bag that I brought home for her.
Oh, yeah? Fantastic.
So yeah, there's the blonde there. She's just like, oh, what are you doing? They flirt a little bit about the car, and then yeah, Zachary Ty Bryan comes out from Home Improvement. It's him.
Straight
it's Tim
out of it,
Allen's
man.
son. You know what I mean?
Still a high school kid.
Yeah, he's still a high school kid. If very old, but he's still a high
It
school
was
kid.
one of those things
What are
where
you
I-
talking about, girl?
It's one of those things when I saw this movie the first time, I was like, this is shocking. It's shocking to see this guy grown up. I don't like it. I like in my brain, they stay kids forever.
Yeah.
You know? You see him here, you're like, what? Who cast this kid?
The fun story about him, remember, is that for a long time here on Kind of Funny, before we were Kind of Funny, and we were Game Over Reggie, our most popular video of all time was the live stream of all the Fast and Furious, because people thought we were ripping off the movies, when in fact it was just a camera on us at IGN watching this. When I did that, that's when I was still, it was right after the VidCon, I was still trying to make the YouTube channel a big deal. I gave up on that. But I had scheduled tweets, and Zachary Ty Bryan did respond to my tweet, very excited that we were watching Tokyo Drift.
You gotta fucking
and I
love
then
it.
I freaked out on Twitter that, oh my god, I'm talking to Zachary Ty Bryan. At which some point said somebody, one of the Twitter people, kids, would just respond like, you understand nobody gives a fuck about him. You're a way bigger deal. To which Zachary Ty Bryan responded, "Ooh, rough crowd." And I was like, "You get it, Zach."
Yeah.
And that's why we're friends.
That's why we're friends.
So yeah, we're out there now. We're yelling at each other, and you told my girl, you go, blah, 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 just
throws
fucking
a-
diarrhea and
he throws a baseball
mothballs
to
coming
the-
out of his. No, I'm
dare
aware
you.
we're
Which
getting
was
there.
so
Yeah.
fucked up. Also, didn't he play football? It's weird that.
Yeah, multi-sport
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
He's a
okay.
Bo Jackson. He's a Bo
Well,
Jackson.
they say if you want
Professional
to if you want to be good at football, you got to practice all the sports.
So yeah, fucking Lucas Black only races for pinks. I'm not gonna race for that piece of shit car. He drives away.
Dodge Viper.
Gets in the last word and drives away, and then yeah, baseball through his window, and it's like, oh, and they get on. And then
I love this scene. By
girl
the way.
runs down. She's like, let's fucking settle it.
No,
with
no,
a
you
race.
missed a very key component of this.
Yep.
Is he just stops the car and smiles a little bit, and then gets out, and they're like, "Oh, what's up?" And 8 of the biggest football players you've ever seen in your life start walking toward him, and he gets up, and it's just that shot like the Western shot, where the fucking wrench slides down and they all stop for a second because they're actually pussies. You know, like I'm like, you guys could totally beat the shit out of this guy, but you're scared of a wrench.
It's crazy, man.
A wrench is like having 10 football fans.
Fucking nuts. That's what I liked about it. Was like, I'm not fucking scared of these guys. I got a fucking wrench. And like he knew that they were gonna back off the second they saw the wrench, and they.
Well, they're all athletes. You hit an athlete with a wrench, done. Career's over. You know what I mean?
It's true. That's true.
Just beat him stupid.
That's like his computer going offline. It's something like a printer that got all fucked up. Yeah, so the girl shows up and she's like, no, don't do that. Whoever winner gets me. Because you're just, this is all you are. You're just a fucking vagina.
It's
That's
high
all
school,
it
Greg.
She clearly liked him though.
Yeah,
like
she
she
was
was
into
like,
him. She wanted
this
to
is
fuck
my
him.
excuse to like
to bang his ass.
be out of this relationship.
See, now,
you know what I mean?
I'll disagree with you here because
doesn't make sense.
while
What
do you
she's
mean?
tropey as hell, she's also just manipulating the shit out of both these guys, and they're dumb fucks who just immediately fall for it.
Yeah.
She's like, I know these two idiots are gonna race for me. I just want to see these dumb shits do this. And then at the end, of course, she
But
gets
it's
her
like,
fucking nose
yeah, she
broken.
does hint that she's kind of into Lucas.
she
but
was-
then,
she was- she
no,
was
but then
liking
she's
him.
in the car and she's like, don't fucking lose
Thought
to
you
him.
loved me. Yeah,
I thought you loved me.
It's
That
so
was such a
fucking
good scene.
stupid. I just hate all of it. It's so terrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's terrible. Thank you, Andy. It's
terrible.
So they go off to race and they're doing a housing development, which is cool. Like cut the chains, they drive in there, everybody's
Love it.
there.
we
There's
get
fucking
we
shit
get
everywhere.
4.5 versions of Ball with the Ball.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They repeat a verse.
We get like
immediately
10
following
minutes
the
of it,
same
yeah.
verse.
I'm gonna tell you this
Great
though.
jam.
Again, the pin.
I'm
Try to love.
I'm gonna tell you this, okay? We all fucking loved Kid Rock at one point. Agreed. Okay, and Ball with the Ball, while now completely ridiculous,
Dude, he's the bull god.
that song fucking slapped in that scene. It was fucking awesome in that scene.
Yeah, that's like it was a ballsy move to use in 2006.
Oh yeah, I remember watching it going, okay,
Okay.
No,
this
but
song is just in that weird area where it's bad now.
my
but
problem with
whatever.
it is that I would have loved for them to transition to a different song when Ball with the Ball ended. But
Yeah,
they kept going. They kept
Go back.
repeating the thing.
Hey,
It's
man, they
like,
paid the licensing fee. Let's ride it out.
See, but I don't like that. That's my big criticism with a lot of these movies is that they just randomly like when and if we get to the future Fast and Furious, there's a couple moments in Fast 4 where they we're in this cool scene and the music's totally working, and then for no reason it just stops and another song starts. I'm like, what? Who's the music editor of this fucking thing? Let it play out.
But
this is
doesn't
a
it-
fucking slap.
doesn't
but
that
don't give
usually
us
happen?
three.
Repeat it.
Yeah.
Doesn't that
It
usually
usually-
happen when they're transitioning from like driver to driver, which I've always liked?
I don't
where it's
like
these
that,
people
though.
have their themes, and not only that, it makes sense because they've
That's
got
fine.
their
That's
trunks
fine when
open,
we're going
blasting
through
music.
That's
you know?
fine when we're going through these moments. Like
Yeah.
generally, when you change music, it's to emphasize like a change in mood or a change in what's happening on screen, right? Like there's well, we'll talk about it in Fast 4, but like yes, when you're going from a fun action chase to then someone shoots and there's a moment where he stops. That's a great time to change the music from hey, this is an action sequence to oh shit, all of a sudden this is tension, right? And that's what a music editor, that's someone who's scoring the thing is supposed to do. In Fast and Furious 1, it's dumb as shit when we see a Japanese guy and there's a Japanese song playing and then a Spanish guy and there's a Spanish, and it cuts just dramatically
Damn,
from one to one.
They've got their trunks open,
And that's
they're
what I
just
liked about
blasting that
this.
music.
Because when he finally does go to the Tokyo Drift world, it's the song and it stays in that
So
song
good, yeah.
the whole time. And I'm like, cool, we don't like this is the world. That's great. It's a slap. I digress. Sorry, continue.
So they're racing around this development. For some reason, people think it's a good idea to be in front of them while they race, which seems like not a great idea.
But we also established, I think, in this something cool that's later used, where we're now in the digital world, where people are streaming from their flip phones.
That's later,
so that
yeah.
everyone can watch this. And I was like, at first, I'm like, that's dumb, but then it kind of makes a little bit more sense of like,
It makes
I'm
no
recording
sense.
I don't know.
There
No, it
was
does
no
make sense,
way,
yeah, no.
no way
Even
to
at the
actually
time,
do
I
it.
remember in 2006 when we watched it, everyone was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah.
Why are they-
Even now, it would be extremely difficult. Like you'd have to jump
No.
through different Twitch streams.
Yeah, you just have to click through different Twitch streams.
Yeah, but like, how do you know? Like, they're just gonna be like, all right, they're on turn 6. That's John's stream. Let's go to his. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Buffering. Hold on.
I mean, if they've
We're in
got
the
some
Japanese
dude
mountains, like-
back at home, actually, it could be done with someone doing it for them, and they're just watching the
Yeah,
stream.
that's what I
race.
assumed it was.
Yeah, okay.
I assumed that Sonny Chiba had like a whole
2006.
digital division of the Yakuza.
They roll
that were
up in their
streaming
van
races.
and they had all the feeds there. They were doing perfect
So
cuts
funny.
so you get to hear your fucking Nokia
So
flip
funny.
phone. So they race around here for a while and it's touch and go, and then Zachary Ty Bryan, he's being like an ass and like bumps him off and like they're fine. Don't lose, well, I thought you loved me. And then he gets bumped off, so he starts taking a back road. This is Lucas Black now. He's taking a back road or
I
whatever.
love this.
He's
I love
fucking
this
I
part.
hate it.
go,
He just
go,
goes
go.
through a
He
house.
just he's going. He looks over. There's a house for him, and he goes, oh, well. Smashes through it, and I'm like, yes. Ball with the ball.
He sees the backhoe blocking his way, jumps through the house, comes out. He's then on the road again, and they're doing their thing. And then what? Zach tries to bump him again, and that flips Zach, and then Lucas flips too, but he still wins or whatever. But it's
oh my God, and they're dead.
Oh yeah,
They smash violently into like a tractor. They are dead in this Viper. This thing is like light aluminum. They're both dead.
Just a little bruising on the face. And,
No, they're fine. Yeah, no broken bones, no nothing. They're just sitting out there totally fine.
We
This thing
jump to
was
the
like
hospital where they're all sitting there, or is it police station?
Police station.
yeah.
And Lucas looks over at Blondie McBlonderson. She's got a bunch of cuts and bruises, and he smiles. He's got all bloody teeth and a bloody nose.
that. I
It's
like
cute.
that.
It's cute. That's a cute scene. But then Lucas gets pulled in by the hardened cop who can see through. And these kids, they got everything to lose. They're getting off, and you're not gonna get off. Trailer park trash boy. Blah. I'm like, all right, wow, good stuff here. And then his mom comes in. She's just what you'd expect too. Here's another stereotype walking through the door. Oh, we've moved so much because of him, and he just keeps making us move. All right, well, there's only one place to go. We're on a plane to Japan.
Well, there's also a weird flirtation.
Yeah, there's a
with the
weird
mom.
mom's gonna try to bang this cop. I mean, maybe the inference is mom's gonna like, maybe bang this guy to get Lucas off the hook, and that's kind of what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. We keep calling him Lucas. His name is Sean in the movie,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, Sean off the hook. It's weird. Can I smoke in here? Thanks for clearly putting the no smoking sign right behind me. Like we don't know you can't smoke inside buildings. Like it was.
But he
fucking
lets her
weird.
smoke.
Yeah, because he wants to bang.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Real.
He wanted her to
tight
smoke
move.
here's
that
the thing.
pipe, you know?
Give me that Marlboro 100. I'll put it in my mouth.
Jesus.
All right, I was just gonna say it seemed like they were like, all right, you're gonna have to go to court, and then he goes to Japan. Is he running away?
No. I think
sure?
they have a line where his dad goes, "This is the arrangement. This is the last thing that you possibly can. Instead of like monitoring you in the United States, we're going to send you to a whole other sovereign nation,
that doesn't seem
another
normal.
country where our laws don't exist, and you can just stay indefinitely forever."
What
apparently.
judge would be like, all right, this is your third strike, because they mentioned that also.
Yeah.
This is gonna be his third strike.
Yeah.
You can either go to jail for life.
For life.
Or Japan.
It was this or
one of the
Jimmy.
coolest
Yeah.
countries on the planet.
Yeah,
and stay by
and
the
he's
way.
bummed out. He's bummed out on the plane to be going to Japan.
Yeah.
Shut
Well,
up.
he doesn't know any Japanese, and he's gonna go to Japanese high school. It seems like.
Or is
that's
he?
what
Because
it's-
again, his dad lays down the law that first night, and then he never comes home again, and there are no repercussions.
No,
awesome. Thanks,
weirdly-
everybody.
So we get him into Japan, by the way, and he's staying in probably the most expensive part of the entire country, which I find odd for an airman. I digress. And he knocks on the door.
He's okay. First off, fuck you. He's a Navy man.
Navy guy,
How
sorry.
is this driven home? By him always wearing a Navy shirt.
Well, you figure.
Fucking wow!
Well,
this
no,
is such a well-rounded character.
I feel like
the party was here. Is he an alcoholic? I don't. He drank once and then he had a woman over. Was that a whore? Like I don't know.
That was definitely a prostitute.
100%.
So he drank,
like-
but then he comes in all decorated, and then he's got a car
Well, that's
across
'cause
the street in the garage. What the fuck is this father's
I don't
role?
know. I
Who
don't
is
know.
he?
He's
I
a
don't
layered
know.
character.
He sure is.
But I will
Real
say this,
deep.
he wears a dope ass bomber jacket at one point that has the higher collar, and I'm like, I want that jacket. It was dope. So, redemption.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
lands there. He didn't get picked up at the airport because his dad sucks. And then he goes there, and there was confusion about what day it was because it is the 7th. But when the mom said the 7th, the dad's like, "Well, clearly you mean the 8th, you dumb fucking ass." And
You're
hang up the
too
phone.
busy
on her.
fucking smoking cop pole.
Hey, there's a lot left to our imagination.
No, guys.
Nick's playing in that gray area.
No, for sure, it was that this guy's a bad father.
Well, yeah, he's
Knew
a
it
bad
was
father.
the 7th, but instead was like, I'm gonna get with this prostitute.
Which was weird. That scene was so weird because
Yeah.
this dad's on it the rest of the movie. Like he's like,
No, he's not.
These are my rules. You have to
No,
do
he
this.
says that
Like I'm
once,
going to
yeah.
be disciplinarian.
and then he opens
like,
the door, and Lucas isn't there, and he's like,
Right?
"All right, well, I'm gonna just go away till." Forever until I'm drastically
Until I'm needed.
Never mention it again when I get reunited.
he didn't want to fucking deal with it, and he had to.
I got that. He was
Yeah.
just like, we're
hey,
tired
here's
of
the
dealing
fucking
with this
rules.
kid.
And when
Yeah.
he walks in and sees he's not there, he's like,
Whatever.
fuck this shit.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Dumbass
Your kid's
kid.
like
Narc on
illegally.
your kid?
At this point, your kid's just really deep into the yakuza. He might be a fucking yakuza.
He's a don in the Yakuza now. I can't stop him.
He comes
He's
home with like
untouchable.
no fingers, and you're like, damn, you fucked up twice. All right, I'm sorry.
So he's there. We saw the
They have
prostitute
to cut their
scene.
fingers
They
off
go
if
in
they
there.
screw up in Yakuza, as we see with the one guy that goes,
"Where's my bed? It's over there." All right. Like, fucking Jesus. It's a
Schoolies.
weird alarm clock that the dad put down when he put down his clothes in a note. Fucking dad's like fucking Peter Parker leaving notes all over the house
don't
for
fuck
like, here's fucking trains at 7. Here's a Japanese map. Good fucking luck.
Now, to Sean's credit in this, The train systems in Japan, while actually fairly efficient, are difficult to figure out.
Oh, sure,
And
when
he
you first
does
get
figure
there.
out how to get there like
Smart
pretty
dude.
quickly, which is
gets there
impressive.
late, right?
Like imagine
Character
if
development.
you just took a random high school kid from anywhere America and threw him into Japan. He would be like, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now.
Yes,
and he
that's
gets there,
realism.
and then he figures out what wabaki means, which is important.
Took him like 10 minutes though, of the lady just yelling Wabaki at him.
Well, it was
Thanks
weird
for all
too,
your help, students.
Because when he comes in late, she's like wabaki, wabaki. And he looks down and realizes that he's wearing shoes, but everyone else is wearing shoes.
That was weird.
I don't
They're wearing
understand.
slippers too, though, weren't they?
Were they?
Yeah, when
Did they have their own slippers though?
Yeah.
Like, they weren't like loaner slippers.
No, they brought their own
Got it.
slippers. You have-
So can you just wear the slippers all over the school, or do you have to put your shoes back on and then new
In the
slippers
hallways?
on in the hallway? Like what the fuck is
I
the point of
doubt
these
Sean's
slippers?
even fucking good at English. How's he good? Like,
read at a first grade level. Wabaki.
Another great point, Andy, in this amazing plot and story.
yeah.
Although
But
he
he
does
didn't-
pick up
he-
stuff pretty quickly in this. He's actually a pretty smart guy.
He doesn't understand Japanese. Like, it's,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
But like, was there no plan? They just were like, all right,
No.
you go to Japanese high school now.
Kevin, the
Justin
best way to
Lin didn't
learn.
respect you enough to give you any clues on that.
Yeah,
Don't,
the best
Justin
way to
Lin
learn.
respected me plenty. All right.
The best way to learn a foreign language is complete and total immersion under the threat of violence, and that's the way to do it.
You almost made me spit up there.
So yeah, it's just a day of culture shock
But
for
we also
one.
meet, we
Lucas
see
Black.
the girl.
Yeah, the girl's
in this, whose name I can't.
What's her
remember.
name? Yeah,
Neela.
okay. Yeah,
Neela.
okay. Yeah.
Neela.
Neela. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Just like-
featured in the Just the Way You Are video by Bruno Mars.
you could have made a better name. I would have believed it.
They say Mila
Exactly.
multiple
A lot
times,
of
guys. You
characters
weren't
in
paying
here where it's like,
attention.
what?
Neela. It's more like Forrest Gump, not like Sling Blade. That's like a box chocolate.
That's good. That's true.
bubblegum.
He goes to lunch where the people are eating all stuff, and he got a bunch of cool Japanese
Looks
stu-
delicious.
students. Yeah,
Great line from Bow Wow.
Bow Wow
Japanese
shows up,
food's like the military. Don't ask, don't tell. I'm like, all right, that's a dated reference.
Little Bow Wow's got a bag full of stuff he's trying to sell: laptops, cell phones, and then of course Lucas Black sees the wheel for the car. What kind of car do you drive? Well, we only talk about cars for a while. And
Let
I'm
me
just
show
like,
My car is one of a kind.
yeah, and they go to there, and then the cars come through the carousel, and he's like, "No,
Such a
no,
cool
getting
Porsche.
warmer, getting warmer. No, I drive this Hulk Scion.
Which is
I have this Scion Hulk car." It's like, all right,
This
that's
is
cool.
the best.
embarrassing.
That's-
fucking
I
like.
love how much he loves it, though. You
That's
know?
the thing, though.
Why
There's
did
the
he have
character.
to have
God
the
bless him.
hair?
It was
You
awesome.
gotta have the hair if you've gone that far.
Was it a Scion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought it was like at first I was like, I'm sure this is a Scion, but when it turned this way, I thought maybe it was a Volkswagen.
It was
or
like a
something
Scion B or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like the boxy
the
one.
XB, yeah.
Yeah.
What? By the way, that paint job alone would have been like thousands of dollars.
Oh, 100%.
So he's like this. I'm
He
like,
said
oh,
he,
right off the
he
stickers.
makes money.
Oh yeah.
It was a Volkswagen.
it was a Volkswagen.
Volkswagen
was it?
Touran.
See, that's what I thought. I was like, at first I was like, this has to be a Scion because in the back looks
Yeah,
like the
the
Scion, but
shape.
when it turned around, I'm like, I think that's actually a more of a souped up.
Wait,
like a
so
car you can race.
what problem are you guys having with him like selling stuff? You guys didn't have that in high school? Wanna
No.
do the
No,
sell a
I mean
bunch of
I did.
stuff?
Like I said, I
mean, I
told
don't have
this
a
story to
problem-
my
I don't
friend
have a
tried to
problem
sell
with
Crystal
it. Oh,
Pepsi
okay.
for a while, and then realized nobody wants to buy Crystal Pepsi.
There was a kid in elementary who sold yo-yos.
I mean, did
Sold-
you have like
he
a
sold
friend
a
that
lot
would
of
sell
the-
like
100%. Sold
CDs
illegal
and
yellow
stuff? Like,
yo-yos.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, that's good marketing,
But like
man.
my
That's more money
friends,
then.
but like my
guy.
friends, I grew up in Riverside. My
You
friends
got
couldn't
caught,
afford to
dumb.
fucking steal Jordans and sell those. They were selling like candy and shit. He's selling $2,000 laptops.
It's also selling candy.
He was
Yeah.
also selling candy. Well, no, he was giving away the candy away for sexual favors,
It's true.
which we see.
No, he was doing to get attention. Then he would use his personality
Which you had a lot
for
of.
the sexual favors.
Such a small guy.
Really sad.
point.
Oh, never mind.
Wabaki.
Keep going.
So we get in the Scion and we go to the fucking race wars in a parking garage,
No,
and that's
man.
where the song happens. Bing,
Oh
bing,
my
bing,
god!
bing,
So,
bing, bing.
so that's what I love this moment because up until this point, the Fast and Furious has been like straightforward. Like we're just racing, two cars, muscle
But now
cars
it's
racing,
going sideways.
And now we're
That's good.
bringing
That's good,
another
Tim.
dimension into it. And I like that there's a guy at the front gate that like opens the thing up, and we get that as they're going up. We just get that slap, and we stay in the scene for way longer than we need to.
no, it's so good.
But it's so good, and this is the first time because I was telling you earlier. I was watching it on the plane. The sound balance was so bad in my earbuds that I just turned on the closed captioning so I could figure out what the fuck they were saying. And I had no idea that this was the titular song to Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. I had no idea when it hits the beat. They were like, Fast and Furious, drift, drift, drift. I had
How did
no
you
idea.
not know that?
Wait, didn't
I
you
don't-
say they say dip?
They like it's a weird thing where in the official song it's dip. Like if you look at the lyrics on the album that I bought, it says dip,
job.
not drift. But yeah, in the subtitles. of
I'm
the movie, it
sure
says
whatever
drift. It should have
genius
been
at
drift.
Netflix put in the closed caption was like, let's just put drift. This
It
makes more
sounds like
sense.
it, and it makes a lot more sense. as
Who
drift.
does that song?
The Teriyaki Boys.
Yeah,
with
they
a Z.
fucking do. I want to start
Boys with a
following
Z.
them
Yeah.
on the Spotify's.
I was gonna see where that was going. So yeah, we were in the thing now. We're looking around, a bunch of cute, cool cars, beautiful women, dudes who like cars and beautiful
Yeah.
women.
Neela's there, of course, because she's everywhere.
She's there, of course, yes. That Lucas Black sees her. He walks over to her and starts talking to her. Then what's little Yakuza boy name?
DK.
DK, that's right.
Which
DK shows
stands
up.
for Drift King.
Donkey
Even though he
Donkey
loses
Kong.
sometimes.
Based on a real person, the Drift King,
Donkey Kong.
who was the fisherman in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
I like
cool.
Who
that.
also did most of the, not maybe most is unfair, but a lot of the drifting stunts.
No,
in
that's
the
really
movie.
neat. That's a really good piece of trivia.
My favorite thing about those two guys, by the way, when we get to that, is that they remind me of what popular sports movie starring Tom Berenger and Charlie Sheen.
Major League.
Remember the two Japanese fucking like groundskeepers? They're like they're
Oh,
shitty.
yeah.
That's what they reminded me of the entire time. They're still shitty.
yeah,
Like, they never like them.
Yeah.
I like the idea that the old Drift King and his friend are like they just let him out of jail to film this, and like they're going back to jail because of all the crimes they've
Never
committed.
caught. Never, couldn't do 190. They got away from him or whatever. What do you got? Question?
The Drift King, he doesn't lose any races except for the last one.
At some point, his boy lost
Okay.
a race. That's
Yeah,
what
his
that's what I was
boy,
referring
his
to.
boy.
That's
yeah.
like his team.
No, you were saying even though he didn't you just say that?
I said
Even
that.
though
I said that.
Sorry, there you go.
I was joking around.
You guys look alike. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I get it. All white people. So yeah, who talking to my girl? Oh, here we fucking go
Very
again.
close
Right? She
talker.
does nothing. She just stands there, and then it's like, wait,
yeah.
Very
and
close
then,
talker to
And then
Drift King.
even Han again, who's like, oh man, you got to up your. It's Han who says this, right? You got to up your class, or is it the other guy, the other high school student?
Yeah, it was Han. Like, why you keep hitting on these
Yeah,
high school
exactly.
chicks?
Yeah, why are you a pedophile? Why are you still so obsessed with these high school kids? And he's like, nah, it's cool. I got the one in my car group that drives and shit, and then I'm dating one apparently, and I was going, okay, whatever.
DK, man, he
DK.
just wants to own it. He wants to own everything.
You own something on
Plus,
it.
I don't know what the laws are
It's
for
Japan.
consent
It's
in Japan.
different.
I think it's like the legal age of consent is like 10.
Oh, okay, good to know. Thank you.
It's not 10.
Can I
but
get a new theme song for Japan Facts with Nick?
No, we can't.
Can you get that for me? Thank you very much.
Wacky,
You can just
wacky
Google
facts.
that. I feel like that's an easy one to
No,
Google.
I have no idea what
Yeah.
the legal age of consent is.
Also, how much older was DK? I assumed
12.
Oh my God.
What? No.
It's 12.
No, you're fucking joking.
It's 12.
That's fucked up.
Keep googling. There's no way that's
Yeah,
true.
you know what? I'm
Pull
gonna
up
need
the
you to
chat or
re-Google
something,
that
yeah.
and just say 18 for my own
There
sanity's
you
sake.
go.
It's 13. 13. Individuals aged 12 or younger in Japan are not legally able to consent to sexual activity as such a blah, 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 blah. So it's 13.
Jesus.
No, that doesn't make it better.
It's something, yeah, whatever. I'm just saying it's
Either
different
way.
culture.
Yeah.
Either way, we meet these people, and DK immediately establishes himself
I'm
as
big sweet
I'm the
dick
bully.
around here.
I'm the bully, and we get a nice throwaway line from Bow Wow where he's like, "Dude, you don't want to mess with that guy. He's Yakuza.
Yeah.
not really Yakuza,
We also,
but he is Yakuza."
we jumped over one of my favorite lines
Yeah.
that is so random, but Bow Wow just throws the box of tissues at him.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
for when you blow your load. What the
What?
fuck?
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Why, Twinkie?
because every
it's so
joke
hot
is
up there.
I get it.
Every
Here, these
joke
tissues,
is best.
they're $12, so just pay me.
Always hustling.
So he goes, where are we at right now? Okay, so he goes like, yeah, I'll race you or whatever. And Han's like, well, he goes like, you don't have a car, Gaijing. He keeps calling him Gaijing. And Han's like, you can have my car.
With the gajin.
Dope ass, whatever the hell it was, that was probably worth like
Han's the
Mona,
coolest.
Mona Lisa, man.
solid 80.
They debut him. They show his car off.
Yeah.
They give the backstory of the car. He flicks the fucking keys at him. Lucas Black
So
grabs him
fucking
like,
cool.
let's
Great
go,
moment.
baby.
It's the coolest part of the movie,
Also,
arguably.
this dummy, like, why is he like being like, we should race? It's like, you know, you don't have a car.
Yeah,
what was your
but
plan?
he doesn't have a plan. That's
Yeah.
the thing with the first act. We're in the second act actually now, but like that's the thing is like we're still establishing this character does not. He's so impulsive. He doesn't think. He's not really being strategic. He's dumb. And this is what we get it. But what's awesome about this is you're like, why would Han give him the car? What's his motivation
Wanna see
behind
what the
this?
kid's
This
got.
is the most
He's so
interesting
badass.
aspect of this entire movie.
He's the Obi-Wan
But I
Kenobi of
digress.
the franchise.
Man,
He's the
like he
Kenobi.
just feels like the older cousin that you wanted to hang out
He's
with
so
and
cool.
be like, immersed in their world and see what their lives are about. It's so cool.
Well, and now I'm just going to get into it early, but Better Luck Tomorrow, Bear, you watched it, right?
I did.
What were your thoughts?
The first time I watched it since high school because I had to watch it in like senior year of high school for AP English.
Why?
English classes, movies, you know what I mean?
The theme of the movie related to a theme of a book that we were reading.
What book?
I don't fucking remember.
Where the red fern grows.
Sure.
All things considered.
Anyway, the first time I'd watched it since then, and it's like way more fucked up than I like.
It's really fucked
really
up.
fucked
Really,
up.
I
It's
still
dark.
really like it though.
Yeah.
And it was like a Sundance film. It's like one of those like artsy coming of age, artsy quote unquotes. I dug it.
But it introduces Han, and he's a bad guy. Like he is the cool older cousin, but he's not cool. He's the one that's kind of like getting these high
he's
school
Uncle
kids
Aaron.
into some bad shit. Yeah, kinda. But then by the end of the movie, he's like, fuck, I need to
He
get out
starts
of this.
backing up. Fun little fact, though. My girlfriend was looking up the character Han in Better Luck Tomorrow and the character Han in Tokyo Drift, different last names.
So,
Because he had to change it when
we'll
he
get to
moved
that
over.
later. Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Come on, dude, be smart.
But he's smoking the entire time in Better Luck Tomorrow, and then he gives up smoking.
And now he's
takes
chewing
up. He's
it.
all constantly snacking because he has that oral fixation. You know, so that's why every scene you see him, and he's
Oral
always like
fixation. I've been
there.
crunching that shit. Yeah,
I've been there.
Yeah, just
Gotta
give me
love
goldfish and I'll stop whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
So we
It's a
embark
race.
on this race and we get the iconic
Ready, set,
and then they go.
And the guy
And
just
then they go.
fucking
Yeah.
so cool.
Awesome.
I love it.
And man, does Lucas Black fuck up hard here. He can't make a turn to save his fucking life. It's like
he
he's
didn't
never
know
made
what
a 90
drifting
degree
was,
turn.
right? He didn't understand that they were going to drift. Bow Wow
Right.
sprung that on him after the race had been
I
decided.
need the 30-second drip. And he's like, you know what? Just don't die. Don't hurt the car.
Mona
Don't
Lisa.
hurt the car.
At which
And the very-
Lucas Black's like, fuck that.
And the very first turn, he takes as a guy, for a kid who's been racing since the first second he got in a car, he can't figure out that you should probably slow down a little bit and then power through it. Like he just was
Hey, like,
mystified
Out
by
of
these
his
90
element.
degree turns.
I think just driving a little slower would have been faster than crashing into everything. You know what I mean?
he could have probably taken the turns at 5 miles an hour and then sped up, and it would have
Yeah,
been
and it would have been
net
more efficient.
neutral.
Yeah.
But yeah, the car comes up to, obviously DK. When we have the awesome scene where DK like flips around backward and goes,
Yeah.
come at
Paul
me.
Walker, or I'm sorry, Brian O'Connor school driving.
Yeah, he
Brian
learned
O'Connor's
that.
go driving, and then flips around and then does the coolest thing in the whole fucking movie, where he just drifts all the way up the spiral thing, and then comes
cool.
out and obviously
Everybody's
burns.
like, yeah, DK!
I mean, to be honest though, I
awesome.
don't care who you are. If you did that in front of me, I'd be like,
You're the
I gotta
coolest
cheer
human
for you.
being I've
man.
ever
You're fucking
seen.
awesome. You're awesome. And then the car pulls up afterward, and it is broke to shit.
Yeah.
To shit. And Han gives a great line where he doesn't say anything. He just goes, "Don't leave town."
Yeah. And that's where you know, all right, this guy's like this friendly kind of cool dude, but
Yeah.
he will also
He'll fuck
find a
you
way to
up.
fuck
Yeah.
your shit.
He'll
Yeah.
fuck you up.
Yeah.
Right. Where do we go from there? Back to school?
No,
the
this is
dad.
when we come home, yeah, and we open the door and we're Lucas Black and we're trying to sneak in, but guess what? Dad's there and he's had up to 7 beers. And he's like, oh, this part is better here. He's like, no, there's fucking rules now, man. You got to fucking live by my rules. You're under my
Where
house.
else?
Let's fucking
This is the
do
last time. Last time I ever let you come home late.
Yeah, exactly.
Last time.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Dad. And goes to bed. Then he wakes up and goes back to school.
Yeah.
Then he does another shitty day of school.
But is this the part where Bow Wow's getting attacked? Or is that a different
No,
day?
that's not. That's way later. We've established it.
Yeah, the shitty day of school. But when he comes out, is Han there?
yeah, that's where
Yeah.
we come out. Han's there with the car. Go.
And it's like, you work for me now. I'm going to fucking give you a cell phone. I'm probably going to teach you lots of stuff about life, but that comes later. But for right now, if I fucking call you, I don't care if it's once a day, once a week, or once an hour. You have to come do whatever I want you to
If you're
do.
with Beyonce.
Yeah, I don't care if you're with Beyonce. You come. But I would also put a caveat on there. Maybe bring Beyonce also, because I'd like to meet Queen Bee. But first, I need you to go in there. There's a guy with a paw who owes me money. And this,
He could have said Jaguar tattoo, you know?
either way, we get that.
Or the giant man.
The giant man. Go in there, get my money. Walks in, the guy's like, hey, you can't walk in there fully clothed. It's against the law. Legal age of consent. You got to take all your clothes off and show us your very weird nipples. You just have the weirdest
Yeah,
nipples.
Is it
Didn't even
time?
notice his nipples. Didn't even notice his nipples. Did he have weird nipples?
Is it time?
For rank those apps?
I mean,
I don't. Yeah. What
Yeah,
other
this
abs
is
are we
it.
gonna run
This-
into?
yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
Sure,
okay.
go for it.
Were they born in last? Now it's time to rank those abs.
This is the first time on the list we've seen a character shirtless in a movie that has anti-abs. And I'm not talking about Lucas Black. I'm talking about the gigantic Japanese guy that comes out of the water and they slow it down and add that like sound effect. A+, man. He's that's great. That's just, you know what? That's promoting positive body image, and I can get behind that. Thanks, Andy.
Rank that flab.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's good. Of course, immediately, comically, you think they're going to have an interaction here. No, he just gets his ass fucking thrown out.
Fully
And then he
clothed,
goes-
though.
and then- but then
Several times.
he's resilient and he wants to prove that, hey,
I got this,
I'm
Han.
worth
I
it, Han.
understand what I
got it.
did.
Goes back in, gets thrown out again. The guy comes out and he's like, says something, throws a wad of cash at Han, and then goes back in. And now they're friends. That's how they go.
Yeah.
Now they're friends. From that point on, that's when he establishes the rules, if I'm not mistaken. He's like, you work for me. We're homies now. And I can't, what happens next? I can't remember.
He gives him a car, right?
no,
Is this when he gets-
you're,
no,
you're
that's
getting ahead of
later.
yourselves. They drive over to
he goes,
DK's.
but that's the important thing. He goes, you're going to teach me how to drift. And he goes,
like, this isn't a
negotiation.
negotiation.
He's like, I wasn't negotiating. Shrimp sandwiches, shrimp soup, shrimp gumbo.
Wait, now you're being his friend. That's not even Forrest Gump.
They pull up to the pachinko arcade or whatever it is, and then DK's in the back, right?
Yeah, playing
He's
mahjong.
Playing mahjong. They have that cool thing where you touch it,
Cool
pops the
table.
table.
That
open,
was
and
really
everything.
cool. They
That
put-
was
yeah,
dope.
yeah, yeah.
And I'll shout out to the guy that plays his friend with the red hair. Because I was like, you're nailing this
You're
role,
just,
man.
he really was. Like, you're just
fucking
you're the
nailing
star
it,
scream
right.
of this whole operation.
And that guy
Absolutely.
is a kid too, right? He is the kid who fights Bow Wow.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in the
he's
high
at the
school.
thing.
Okay,
He's a
just
kid
make sure.
also. They're very. So I get the sense they're all supposed to be really young.
Was this the scene where they go to the club?
Oh, I think we missed
No,
that
we,
scene.
we went over that. We skipped
Whatever.
through that scene.
I enjoyed where like they're walking into the club and it's like it looks busted as fuck, and then they walk through the other door and
yeah,
then
and
there's
it's a
then
60s. It's like a 60s go-go
Yeah,
lounge
and I'm
club.
just like, I love that because I feel like it was such like a dig at
Also,
the other.
director trademark apparently, not spoilers for Fast 4. He has a weird fixation with two girls making out in
Yeah,
hallways.
maybe
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
two sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then they continue walking, and then it's just What's house, right?
yeah. It's the
That's
it's
where
the,
Han
it's
lives.
the den. Or the den rather, not the len.
lair.
Oh, fuck that. The lair. Thank you. I
Yeah.
combined lair and den, and I think that's after the DK scene, though, right?
Yes, it is.
So I think they go to the DK first. We establish that DK is in fact not a yakuza, but he's in some.
Honestly, I hate to stop you. I think we might be combining two scenes because remember we come out of the pachinko parlor, meet the girl again.
Right, meet the girl.
Then Han comes back out. We back in the car. and we drive off.
So what happens is they go into talk to DK, and DK's like, "Hey, this dude's got to leave."
Yeah.
Then he goes
goes out.
outside, and that's where
Sees the girl coming
Mila
in.
is.
Yeah,
And
I
he's
know.
like-
I'm just saying, are we sure that all of these are in the same place? That
Yeah,
in the club
please.
with the dancing people.
No.
Rather than
no.
hang out in the club with the dancing people, he went back
different
out to the
scenes.
street. Okay.
Totally different
Yeah, yeah,
scenes.
yeah. 'Cause then
I think they
afterwards
leave and go
leave.
to the club
Yeah.
afterward, and that's when we get
Gotcha.
the scene where he's driving really fast, and he's like, if you go above 197 kilometers, they won't even try.
Just making sure.
They don't have. They don't even.
197 kilometers.
This is the most technologically advanced society on the planet. But
cars
they
are
don't
all
have-
Stock
factory-
engines.
Cars
They
are all
can't
factory.
keep up.
engines,
They don't have
yeah.
some sort of helicopter
Right.
or any sort of satellite feed that they could.
So
track
with
you
DK
on.
though, we established that Han owes him money. There
Han
was
owes
a
him some
gig
money.
going up. Come on,
Right.
what's going on?
What
I mean,
about-
I've always been good for it.
Yeah.
What about all the other cars he wrecked? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
great questions.
I guess he doesn't know that money. I don't know how that works. right? All
they're
right.
idiots.
They took the risk when they came in. You signed a consent waiver.
Right, but then so what do we got? So we go to the club, yada yada yada. We see this awesome layer, and Lucas Black's like, "I'm in. This is where I want to live. This is my life. I finally found my clan, my people. This is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be the DK2."
K2.
To be clear, he's not. He hasn't moved in yet.
Not yet.
That
No,
happens
not yet.
later. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think this is he goes back. No, we see him at school the next day. Where are we at after this?
You wanted the fucking
Fuck, I
ride.
didn't want it.
You,
I
you
didn't
took
want it. I
the
was just
ticket.
trying to- I was
It's your
just
show
trying to-
now,
Well,
baby.
I think the next thing we see him is at school, and that's when he has the fight.
And that's when he has the fight with
No?
no.
The fight's way later. The
Yeah,
fight's
I
weirdly
think we're-
placed in this movie.
You need to. There's a
fight's,
lot
like,
of
really towards the
establishing of hey, we are becoming friends and family here.
Oh, so now
We
does
do.
it cut to him trying to learn how to
It
drive?
might be. They go
It's
drift.
important that we talk about the scene where he
I think
with
this
him
is where
and
they give
Mila,
him the
where-
car. They give him the car.
Where he goes,
Yeah.
he's like, they're playing the psychological mind games like all high school girls play on boys. She's smarter. She's fucking with him. And he tries to guess who
Oh,
she
right.
is.
That's how you.
And she's like, 0 for 1. You fucked up. I'm not an orphan army brat. You're dumb. We're both gaijin, but you're just different than me. You're dumb. Stop trying.
I mean, his guess was wrong,
And it sucks.
We
It
find
was
out later.
Dead
I think
wrong.
that's when it comes to the soccer game.
Oh, that might be the side.
Sure.
So they get the soccer, which is like building the just like they're all friends, they're all getting along, whatever. Han's hanging out with with his group that like he runs all these deals for and shit. And that's when you get the iconic Obi-Wan moment of
He's like,
him.
"Why'd you give me the
They're
car?"
like looking over and it's like, yeah, why'd you give me the car? It's like, I'm testing your character or whatever. I make choices. I don't look back. It's like, God, you're so fucking goddamn cool.
This is a great scene because you're like, you kind of know why. But he's like, cars come and go. I have lots of money. I don't need the money. What I need is to be able to trust people around me. And there's like, I need people of character, of good character. Villains, but the honor among thieves.
He's like,
And-
you know Westerns? This is my Mexico.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's good. Right. We
So
get
much of
that
what he
there's
said was so
history.
cool.
We're world building here. It's great. Also, that is a real soccer pitch that I have seen.
I've
It's
been there,
really,
yeah.
really cool. It's like
Well, I've never been there. I've seen it from our
I've
hotel.
seen it from up. Yeah, above the
because we're
hotel.
there at the Shibuya crossing, right? We
Yeah,
always
yeah.
stay at that hotel around there.
That's
It's
it's
like,
really
if you don't
cool.
drift to win, what do you drift for? And then we get to the single greatest scene in the entire fucking franchise where it just like Han looks at him and it cuts. The music starts playing. You see Han drive with Lucas Black in the car towards another car with two of the hottest girls I've ever seen in
Yeah.
it. They pull up, make eye contact. He starts drifting around. The song just gets more and more intense. The camera cuts to a shot from above. The music then gets muffled, so it's like diegetic audio of just hearing like what they're hearing of it coming from the car. Spinning around and around. They stop. They make eye contact for a second. She writes her fucking phone number down, reaches it out the window. Han just drives and grabs it, and they just go without a single line of dialogue the entire time. And I'm like,
So cool,
wow.
man.
It's like
Fucking dope.
it's like in the nature documentaries when the one bird like fucking does the weird thing.
It's mainly called drift culture, man. It's different, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's
dope.
great. Fuck. Is this where we get the scene with the fight?
The scene with the fight is not until way later.
I'm trying to figure
How
out.
far deep are we
at
in
some
the
point-
movie?
At some point
I'm-
we start. Okay, here's the fun and game section of this, right? Where these guys are great, everything's going cool. We're heading right toward the midpoint where everything seems like it's working out, and now we got to start teaching Lucas Black how to drift. And man, these lessons are very expensive. He is fucking things up. He is burning through tires. We get the two groundskeepers from
Major League.
from fucking Major League are like, this guy is shitty. He's never gonna learn how to drift. Everyone's sitting dangerously close to this.
It's
the
way
entire
too
time.
close. Everyone's always in danger zones in this movie.
Very, very dangerously close. He's fucking up. He's never going to learn how to do this. No one's given him any instruction, but he'll figure it out on his own, just like he will figure out Japanese and the train systems on the Yamanote line. Is this where we get the fight scene? That's where we get the fight scene.
Just jump ahead to let you guys know where the fight scene is. The fight scene's way later after they become friends, after they start getting in trouble with DK, and like it becomes more of like gang warfare.
Yeah, but I feel like we're in that place.
The only
now.
reason that he like saves the whole point of
Oh.
that scene is to build him and Neela of like showing that like he is growing as a character. and
Right.
that, his friends are like, why the fuck would you do that? And that's what leads into the real like the finale. Like
Yeah, no, I know that. I'm just trying to figure. At some point,
No, doesn't that
at some point
lead
he
into
rectifies with Neela, right, and was like, "I'm sorry." Oh, it was after the fight where he's like, "I'm sorry for like saying that. I shouldn't have said that stuff about you. Your life is your life."
Wasn't
I
that
don't
after the
know you."
first race? The race with his friend? Because that doesn't
we
lead.
get the training montage, right? Where
right.
he's learning to drift and it's cutting back and forth of just them becoming friends and all that stuff.
Right.
Then we get the training montage ends with him beating the shithead friend.
Right. The
With
guy's
him
like,
beating
"No!"
the Starscream,
Right.
yeah.
And he wins, and he's now Drift King 2, and that's great.
Starscream, I love that.
Drift King Jr.
Drift King Jr. Yeah, I'm just real
Is this
hung up
where we
on
get
when
the
this
fight
fight
scene?
happens.
Let's jump to the fight.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Jesus
So
Christ.
fight happens, and we realize at this point this is a major character change. Instead of grabbing the wrench, he goes, "Hey, take mine." Right, take my iPad. Pod, try not to hurt it this time. And he diffuses the situation, and we've learned he's growing. And not only does the audience learn that he's growing, but Neela learns, like, she's there watching this and goes, "Oh, you're not this dumb, blunt instrument anymore. Like, you're actually someone who's growing as a person that could probably get close to you." And I think that's when he apologized to her for like being a complete shithead and trying to like guess. And then they open up. And did they go on a date at this point? Don't they go
Eventually,
eat food at some
he
point?
texts, right? Yeah, they do the food date, and there's the text of like,
And that's
why
why
don't
you
you drift? Why don't I ever say you
Well, no,
drift?
we go on the date.
Before we get to the date, I just want to point out that the bad guy, the weird guy, does one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen a human being do. Put his hand in front of his mouth and then spit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
into his
kinda
hand.
goes. I'm like, you nasty, bro.
That's like that's got to be like a sign of
I feel like
disrespect.
that guy at some point's coming back. We're all gonna be friends with him.
But I feel like the thing that
digress.
he did with Bow Wow, with the whole, Bow Wow got pissed off about the iPads. or
No,
whatever.
everyone's gonna want refunds.
I thought that
Makes
was
a lot
gonna.
of sense.
I thought there was gonna be like more tension, and then him
Yeah.
and Bow Wow are gonna make
Sure.
up, and like they were just fine.
No, that
Oh
was
yeah,
fine.
yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
So we go on the date. We're hanging out. We're getting a nice touching moment where she actually does open up and say, "My mom was like, I got imported here when I was 3, which is exactly why I still to this day have an Australian accent in Japan, having grown up in Japan, and I speak perfect English in Japan. I digress. The mom was a courtesan of some sort. She was like a woman
She
of the
was just a
night.
prostitute.
I'm trying to make it a little bit nicer, but she was
Got
the
it.
preferred prostitute of the DK family, which is why they took her in. And then, so she's kind of cousins with DK, which is why he's like grown up with her the entire time and like
And why he
is
fucks her.
fixated on her and really wants her. And that's how that relationship goes, which makes it slightly less creepy that he's known her forever, but all the more creepy. And he goes, "Well, how come you don't drift? How come I never see you drift?" And she's like, "Oh, you want to see me drift? Let's go up to the place that's the most dangerous place to drift ever, that no one has ever made it down."
It's initial D time, dude.
Right? No one's ever made it down this
Just
hill
DK,
alive.
yeah.
But except for the entire train of 18 of us that are just drifting. And we have a lovely
It was
scene.
a different
Yeah.
mountain.
Yeah, I'm sure it
Not or
was.
different like track of the mountain.
Right.
And good
I'm
for
sure
them
it
that
was.
they had like really, really soundproof cars where it was so quiet inside of the vehicle, and you can hear them just
They're just talking.
having just a real heart-to-heart moment,
heart-to-heart.
very quietly. You know,
We come out of the sunroof after they're in love now. We come out of the sunroof and they're drifting, and it's just the best CG you've ever seen in your entire life, and it's all going down, and everything's great. And I think this is at the point where the dad comes home and opens up the thing.
Oh, that had happened a while. Or no, maybe you're right.
And
Maybe you're
sees
right.
the bed made, and we get that Sean no longer is going to be there anymore. He's now fully immersed in this world. He's bought in, and we get the shot of Han like, "Yo, hey, yo," and looks over, and he's just got his duffel bag. And he's like, And he's like, get this man a cot, right? We're all in. Bow Wow, of course, there, because he doesn't have a home of his own.
I think he also lives there.
Does he live there?
He had all those capsule beds, so probably.
Yeah.
It seems to make sense. That's awesome.
We should have capsule beds here.
Right.
I'm in.
But then we get the introduction of the real bad guy, right? We cut back over to DK's club, and Sonny Chiba, the man himself, comes in like a bad motherfucker. And this is like, you see the respect. Like, this is Uncle. This is the guy that I like want to be, but I'm not really Yakuza. I'm just a wannabe Yakuza. And the guy goes, hey, your boy's stealing from you. Like, you'll never be good in my eyes unless you rectify the situation. And he gives a very long analogy that should have ended 3 before.
No, fuck
but it's
that.
some real intense
I liked
shit.
it.
I
I
loved
liked
it
it.
because as it's going, it's like, this is really, like, this is bad. When it ends, you're like, whoa, that
Yeah.
was really fucking
Then
fun.
the analogy
Want of a nail.
for one of a nail, the horse like lost a shoe for one of a
horseshoe
shoe.
was lost.
The horseshoe was lost for
For the
one
want
of
of
the
a horseshoe. Yeah. We have to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
great.
long story short is little details matter, right? Every little thing could ripple, and that effect could basically take down the entire empire. So get your fucking shit in order. And so instead of calling his friend and saying, hey, you owe me money, you have time to pay back, we're going to be an impulsive little shit, get
He's
the whole
mad.
gang
This is
together.
why he's
That's
not
who he
Yakuza.
is. Yeah, that's
Right.
who he is. You
There's
know.
a whole gang together. Let's start some shit that's going to be a big pain in the ass for Uncle to deal with later. Let's drive over there and let's fucking blow Han away, right?
But this, like, what you're saying right now is why, like, the final race happens.
No, no, no.
Because he handles it poorly.
Oh no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I just hate this character, but
Yeah.
you're supposed to hate the character.
Yeah,
it's very well
exactly.
made.
Yeah,
Well, at least the characters does what it's supposed to do. They go over, and Lucas Black saves the day by do you think this thing would have a safety on it? It doesn't have a safety on it. He goes, I'm going to cause a diversion, and just pulls the chain, and all the doors drop in the most violent fucking fashion possible. That's what Han needed, right? But we also, by the way, get a scene where Han, in fact, was stealing from him. Like, and so Han kind of was doing a bad thing. The guy's like, I vouch for you, and you stole from me. And Han's like, who the fuck do you think this is, man? This is what we do. Like, I'm stealing your money and shit. This is what happens. So the chase begins. Everyone gets in their cool cars, and it's time to get the fuck out of there. DK is shooting at him. They're racing through the fucking streets. Sean gets in his cool car that was given to him by what's his name, and that's awesome. Neela's in his car too, I think. They're all following him. Everyone's trying to save each other, and we get like, it's intense. This could not be more fucking intense, and they're going
Because
toward.
Neil and him and DK had already broken up at this point.
Yeah,
right?
she kind of.
He was already
She dumped
creepy
him
and
after-
yeah.
I do think we missed that scene. She dumped him, and then DK comes to his house, and is like, this is later. That's later, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's later. I think
Yeah,
that's
it
after
is.
Han dies.
Yeah.
Because that sets up the whole. She goes with him, and then he finds her in the
some
den.
point- at
And she's
some
like,
point-
you gotta go. And he's
oh.
like, I got nothing to lose or whatever.
After they date.
when they show up at DK, when they show up at Han's alive and she's there,
Wait,
and he has the gun. And she's already dumped him, and he looks up there and he's double mad now.
he.
So do, I mean,
They can't go
Wait,
back
real
to
quick.
Han's after
they
it happens.
have their date. DK beats up Sean. And then she sees
Right,
Sean
right,
beat
right,
up,
right, right. Good call,
realizes
good
what
call. Right, right,
happens,
right. Good
and is
call.
like, "We're through." That was the final
then he
straw.
comes to the house, and we get what's actually a good scene with the dad. We also missed a very important scene with the dad. Reminded me of that, where he pulls a gun on him, and the dad's like, "I wouldn't do that if I were you. I'm a Navy man. I've got this dope ass fucking bomber jacket on that if they sold, I would buy in a large or medium. Get the fuck out of here." And that's actually pretty indicative of DK too, because DK like backs down. It's like, this isn't over or whatever. But I think she goes with him, right? She's like, "Don't stop.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
she
go with
does.
you.
That-
Relax."
that's our
everyone
thundering towards the
de-escalate,
final.
right? We're thundering towards the final. We missed a scene though with you mentioned it earlier, where the dad has so much money he can actually rent a garage in Shinjuku or in Shibuya rather, and he has this dope ass Mustang. That he's been working on.
I just found it at
Mustang
the
Diesel.
base.
I just found it. Right. I just found it. It's important.
So we're in the
Anyway,
chase.
back
but
up. We're in the
before
chase.
Before we get to the saddest moment of all time, back to the chase.
Now this chase is getting intense, and this is they're heading toward what is probably the busiest crosswalk on the planet. Right.
Shibuya Crossing.
If you're not familiar with Shibuya Crossing, it is a cross that goes in both a square, but also when the lights stop, they let everyone cross. So the entire intersection just goes boom, and you're allowed to cross any which way but loose, right? We're approaching that, right? And this is a cool scene because I didn't realize this at first, but this is the first actual life's on the line. Can you drift? Can you do this? Can you pull, like, it's been all fun and games to this point with the two guys from Major League laughing at you, right? But this is, if you fuck this up, you are going to kill lots of people. Okay. And start honking the horn, everyone looks, and it's like the parting of the Red Seas. This is the coolest shot in the whole fucking movie. He just drifts, and we're seeing people's faces like through the windshield, like, what the fuck is happening? as he drifts first, and then the rest of them come after, and that's all Gucci, right? Go. And then DK shooting at Han, and unfortunately,
Turns the car around to
right.
shoot.
Yeah. Dope.
Pretty dope.
Really dope.
Forget how it happens, but then the worst part of the
Out
game
of
is
nowhere,
T-Bone.
just
Gets T-Bone. That's right.
RKO out of
yeah,
nowhere.
car came.
Didn't
it
see
was an
coming.
RKO out of nowhere. Seriously.
Didn't see it coming.
That was such a tough scene.
The car flips. DK stops. Sean and Neela pull up, and they go. He goes to get out, and boom, nothing you can do. Nothing you could possibly do. Didn't see the other side of the car. Don't know what's happening over there. But from the layman's perspective, it was just a run-of-the-mill street racing incident. You know, that's just what happens.
Traffic,
no
just traffic.
other thing could have
Just
possibly
traffic.
happened.
It's just traffic.
It's just traffic. That's what happens, right? You live by the sword, you die by the sword,
Yeah,
as they
yeah,
say.
yeah.
It was a hard 30 seconds because it
It's
flips
tough.
over.
Man, he
You
fucking
see
dies
him
a
in
fiery
there.
death.
There's that moment of oh man, is he gonna go up? Poof! It explodes.
And I honestly feel
Nos,
like
man.
Han's death is the thing that makes this movie decent. Like where it propels
Can
the
I-
movie,
can I-
propels the movie and makes it feel like it matters.
Here's what I'll say. I think Han is what makes the movie decent.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like he's great. And I mean,
So
and
good.
granted, we're not spoiling anything going forward or anything like that, but he's a character obviously in the franchise that you care about. So I mean, that's part of it, but he's just really he is well done in this.
Yeah, it just-
he's like the one
yeah.
thing in my opinion that's well done in
It
this.
showed
was
like
pretty
that
good,
there
too.
are
That's
there are
true.
stakes where characters that you fall in love with can die, and I don't know. It to me made the movie more enjoyable, even though it was very sad. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No. I mean, there's depth in there.
They
You know,
built a
you
world
care about
that
this
mattered.
character. Yeah,
That's the thing is, I feel like the cast of characters, including Han, it's well built enough that when things like this happen, you're like, ah, fuck. And unlike Jesse in Fast 1, where he dies, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
no one gives
Right.
a shit.
But his
Right.
his dad was going to get out of jail and they were going to race cars together.
So I think after this, somehow doesn't Neela go back with him? Is this where that happens?
Yeah.
Where he holds him up, or no?
Yes, exactly.
This is where-
they can't go back to Han's garage, so they go to
they go to the dad's place.
I got nowhere else. I got
nowhere. Goes
Which is
back.
a car having happened. It's
Right.
a conversation that happened in the car.
Dad pulls a gun on him. DK goes,
Yep,
and he's
yep.
like, "You got to get the fuck out of here, man. I don't know what's going on, but I'm a Navy man. I've seen this shit go down before. You got to get out of here. We've already established there's nowhere else for you to go. So if you go back to the States, you're facing life in prison. But just go." And he's like, "No, I can't do that. I've got it.
He says that. How does he say it?
Just go."
No. What
Luke's back. He goes, "Dad, shrimp soup, shrimp candy, shrimp.
I'm not gonna run anymore.
I'm not gonna run anymore,
Don't make
Dad."
my mistakes anymore. Son.
Yeah, don't make my mistakes." But they have a touching moment. Right, he links up with Bow Wow, and Bow Wow's like, "Dude, I'm getting the fuck out of here. This is bad. The Yakuza are on us. We got," and he's like,
Here's some money Han left for
here's
you."
some money that Han left you, which is a lot of money, and I don't know how it's possible that Lucas Black picked up in that 5-second exchange that Han stole all this money from him, but we just assume this is the money he stole from Sonny Chiba, and we're gonna pay him back for it.
It'll all be gooch.
And his plan is, I've got to face up to my problems, and I got to take them head on. I can't run anymore. I can't just be a Tokyo drifter forever. I have to face this thing head on. So he goes into the heart of hell, right? The ninth circle where the Yakuza hang out, and these guys are real fuckers. These are not deep. These are not DK's
baseball bats.
motherfuckers.
Dude,
These
I
guys
love,
are just
there was a bunch of different themed guys that he had
Yeah.
to slowly walk through. The first was the all leather guys.
right. Goes into the club. DK, I'm gonna fucking close talk with this guy again, and he's like, "I didn't come here to see you. I came here to see the fucking shot caller over there, who I've never met before and didn't know existed. But I'm just assuming this is the guy because he's wearing all white.
Neela told him about him.
I'm sure she did. Did she tell him about him?
Yeah.
Fantastic. His uncle's whatever. So he goes see the uncle, and he goes, "Here's the money that Han stole from you," which I'm assuming is the exact dollar amount to the yen. And the guy goes, "You can't buy your way out of this. This is not something, there's a lot of trouble." And he goes, "Oh, I'm not trying to buy my way out of this. I just think fair is fair. He stole from you. That's not right. I'm making that part right. As far as me and DK are concerned, we're both embarrassing as fuck. And as a person who's been in this country for approximately 2 weeks, I understand honor, and I understand the honor of the samurai and the Yakuza.
He's a fast learner. You said it.
And I realize that everyone around us has been embarrassing you, and this is going to cause a lot of heat. So we can reconcile this one way and one way only." And the guy's like, "How do you want to do that?" And he goes, "A race." And then Sonny Chiba laughs like Jabba the Hutt from Return of the Jedi. Solo. Goes, "Okay, fuck it.
That's really good.
Let's do it. I like this kid. This kid's got chutzpah, you know?
He does
He's
say
got
that.
balls. Let's go with this." And then we get another awesome training montage where they're like, "We don't know." He's like, "You don't have a fucking car." and they're looking around, and all the cars and the things are gone because they've been confiscated. And the only car left is the car that
Mona
he
Lisa.
wrecked. And I love this because he's like, I have to now take the heart of this car, which is this dope ass engine, and put it in my dad's car that he found, and we're gonna rebuild this thing all in the span of approximately one day.
And then we get that song, that just the fucking guitar. Oh man, American Muscle, man, it's happening.
And he puts this, I don't know how big this engine is in this incredibly heavy Mustang, but he puts it in there. And it turns out this Mustang, all it needed was a new engine, new transmission, new axles, new bearings,
Beautiful
probably
paint
new
job.
bushings. A beautiful. No, it didn't have. That's the one thing it didn't need. It didn't need the paint job. All it needed
does.
was a
It's
very
No, yeah, it was like
it's a
rust.
hardcore buff. That was it.
Oh.
They just show him buffing it, and all of a sudden it's a perfectly black paint job with an amazing white racing stripe, even though it had no hood or front end. Doesn't matter. I digress. This is my dream. It's amazing. And these like, we got to figure out how to drift this thing. I don't know if you can drift a Mustang or not, but these guys figured it out.
Turns
They're
out you
smart.
can, yeah.
They're smart.
We saw with our own eyes.
And we've established that they're going to DK got to set the stakes. They're going down the Devil's Turnpike or whatever the mountain's called.
That's it. Devil's Turnpike. Yeah.
The Devil's Turnpike.
The Devil's
And
Backbone.
this is DK's place, man, and no one's ever made it down this alive. You're gonna fucking die if you do this. And he's practicing. Finally pulls up. He's like, one more tweak, and then he does the same thing again, which looks exactly the same as the thing beforehand, but it's perfect now. Now we've got him, right? Boom. It's fucking race night. And everyone's got their Motorola Razrs out, and they have figured out somehow this multi-billion-dollar technology where you can just, with the touch of a button, switch between people's feeds, and it doesn't matter. Even though they're literally seeing things on a dark road where no one's at.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Real bad lighting.
With at best a 10 megapixel camera lens.
We're ready to start. Now, the stakes of this, of course, are whoever wins, loser, has to leave town forever.
Why you just go with whoever loses?
Because I fucked up. I was like, what was it? And halfway through, I
Or
remembered
whoever
it.
wins gets to stay in
Gets
Tokyo.
to stay in Tokyo, and the other one has to
So many
leave
options.
town forever, which we assume DK, because his uncle's there, will honor this. If he comes back, his uncle's just going to put a bullet in his head. We also have established that, you know, the cycle of abuse has continued. The uncle hates him. The uncle misses his brother, and this poor kid just wants someone to love him, and that's
Also,
why
was
he's
there
a bully.
subtext there that the uncle killed the father?
That's what I understood.
Cool, yeah. When he picked up the thing, he was like, I miss your father. And I thought, was that like a big dick move of like, I killed your dad, don't forget, I'll kill you too. I don't care
didn't
about
catch
you.
that, but that
Yeah, I
makes
didn't
sense
catch
now.
that either. That makes it even sadder.
That's why I like Sonny Bono so much in this.
Sonny Bono's great. Sonny Bono's great. Watch out for trees.
No.
The race starts.
If Eminem can say it, he can say it.
It's true. Eminem can say anything I can say. The race starts, and it's a great scene. And this hill is the highest peak of Mount Fuji, because this scene is a fucking 35-minute long race to the death scene. All sorts of cool shit.
What I love about it though is the clear initial D like inspirations from it, where it's just like, this is another reason why I love this movie so much. Is growing up in San Francisco, there was a lot of Asian people that I grew up with, a lot of culture there, and a lot. It's like, this reminds me of going to the arcade playing Initial D from like 2002 to 2006.
Sure.
And so it's like seeing all that, I'm like, they really did a good job of like nailing that culture, and seeing him do it at nighttime going through. I love it, and I love the scene where he starts realizing he's losing, and like DK,
Yeah.
like, starts ramming him,
Yeah.
and Lucas Black from the beginning of the movie remembered when Zachary Ty Bryan was doing it. But
Right.
instead of being the big fucking, I'm the oaf that's gonna hit you, he like slows
just hangs
down and
back.
let him fucking go. Which
Lets
is
him go
great.
off the mountain.
So good.
He rolls.
Rolls, and then we win, and it's this touching moment where
DK should be dead, but not.
DK should be dead, but I think he comes out, right? He just gets,
Oh, yeah.
he's just there. And it's a touching moment where Sonny Chiba walks over to him and says, "Son, you're the son I've never wanted. Like I never wanted, but I've been wrong this entire time." No, that didn't happen. I forget how this resolves.
Sonny walks over to
he's like, "We're good."
the new DK,
Right.
Lucas,
Black.
Right.
and says like, "It's cool, go. You're
Yeah,
fine.
you're good."
You're off the hook." And he's like, "Yay!"
And then,
And also, by the way, I'm pretty sure I'm confused. We watched a lot of movies. This is the one, right? When when DK rolls over the hill and like lands on top of himself, the place like erupts in applause,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like I'm like, he's fucking
Well,
dead. And they're
nobody
like,
likes the
"Yeah!"
Drift King. Like the Drift King is dead. All hail the Drift King, right?
Sure.
Because we get whoo that song again.
Yeah.
Once you have that song, you've commissioned that song. You got to use it multiple times. Bang, bang, bang,
Bow with the
bang,
bow.
bang, bang. No, we come back to the world that we first discovered when Sean got to Tokyo, and now there is a new Drift King, and it is Sean, and he is a more merciful king. Taxes, he's loosening people up on that. He's not really being that hardcore, right? And by the way, just had a hard race. Tonight's his night off. right? But Bow Wow comes up to him and is like, hey, man, there's a guy that really wants to race. And he's like, it's my night off. I'm going to go have some shrimp soup, shrimp salad, shrimp curry, shrimp with cream. And the guy's like, yeah, well, this guy's special, though, because this guy says he knew Han.
They were family.
They were family. And Lucas is like, well, if it's good enough for Han, it's good enough for me. I'm definitely going to race this guy and drift. And he pulls up, and
we hear the song first.
When you see
When I hear the fucking song, and then the camera goes over, and you just see the car, and you're like,
I want to say it's a Charger, right? Like he has the iconic Charger that he drives in this.
Such a sucker for this bullshit.
And
I love it.
this is awesome.
Drives right up, and it was a great shot. We see Lucas Black, and then it kind of rack focuses over, and who do we see? Dom's there.
Fuck yeah!
So good.
How hyped did you get there? This
good.
being your first time.
It was like the ending of God of War where I like got out of my chair and started yelling. I was like, "Holy shit!" It was so cool.
And they have a great back and forth where he's like, "This ain't no 10-second race." And Tom's like, "Oh, I got his time. I got nothing but time.
Gotta fucking love
I would have
it.
loved to have seen this race, by the way, because it's like ready. They go ready, set to, and then boom, and
it was
goes
Neela
right to
doing it, which I love.
Yeah, which is cool.
So
and then it goes
fucking good.
boom right to the credits, directed by Justin Lin, which I was like, baller. You knew this was gonna be
Baller as
good.
fuck, man.
You knew this is gonna
So
be good.
hype.
And then we're done. There's no post.
That's it. No post credit. That served obviously as
Right.
just like
That
you
was
can't
cool.
get more hype than that. Universal Pictures asked Vin Diesel to make a cameo appearance to boost the box office potential. Diesel agreed to appear only if Universal would relinquish the rights to the Riddick franchise to him. Diesel was then able to make Riddick independently and R-rated. So a lot of people were like, Tim, you always say that like Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift was the turning point when it was clearly Fast 4. Fast 4 only happened because Vin Diesel came on and was eventually like, look, I want the Riddick franchise. And then also, once this did as well as it did,
Right.
because they expected it to do way worse than it actually did.
Yeah.
Even though this was so far the worst performing Fast and Furious movie to date. People loved it, and Vin Diesel was like, we got something here. Justin, we got something here. And he became a producer for Riddick, and also, well, he owns Riddick, but he became a producer on the Fast and Furious franchise. So there you fucking go.
Smart.
Beautiful thing.
Yeah. And then they were like, cool. Once we have Vin back, he's such a big dick that we're going to just fuck the rest of the cast. We don't need to ever go back to this world.
We'll talk more about that later.
Although the city of Tokyo doesn't grant filmmaking permits, a great deal of Tokyo Drift features shots of popular Tokyo streets and landmarks. So how did the crew manage to get those key shots? As it turns out, they simply filmed the locations as they were. For example, one scene features footage of lead actor Lucas Black walking among throngs of actual pedestrians at the crowded Shibuya crossing. To limit the risk of law enforcement intervening and shutting down the entire project, one of the film's production managers even posed as director Justin Lin to prevent him potentially getting arrested.
That's so cool.
Universal movies stealing shots. Like,
Hey,
that's
man,
crazy.
Kevin, that's race culture, dude.
It's actually movie culture.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
That is awesome. I did not know that. That's cool.
great.
Yeah. And it's time for haiku and review.
7 syllables in the middle. You want 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku
in review. Haiku in review.
Everybody.
Haiku.
Today,
We stop when you say everybody.
bronze members, patreon.com/kindoffunny can submit their reviews in haiku form of the Fast and Furious movies, just like Matt Rohrbeck did. Dude looks 48. He's supposed to be a teen. Han is awesome, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Fair.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
100%.
Mike Towndra writes in, wonder if you know how they live in Tokyo. Hype AF, my dude.
There you go.
Zach Adams says, Tokyo Drift was great. Don't listen to the critics. Oh, hey, Vin Diesel. Blackjack says, Tokyo Drift sucks. The Bow Wow atrocity. No 10-second race. Andrew Mendoza, I imagine what it is, says, I bow to this wow.
That's good.
Mountains are dangerous. Domo arigato. And finally, Kumail says, slippers, wabaki. Han is drifting in heaven. Got nothing but time.
Man, that's a good
That's
one.
really good.
That's a good job.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
You're the winner.
Wow.
Yeah, no post
Is it a
credits.
competition?
Always.
Life is a competition.
So hit it off. Ragu, a bagu.
Dun 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 down. Dun 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 down.
Fine, Bagu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rad Guys Talk Pad Guys, the podcast within a podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the glue, Kevin Coelho. and the Hispanic heartthrob, Andy Cortez.
Why was there any need for Christopher Rock into
just-
that?
That's-
Chris
Chris
stops
stops
by.
by.
I liked it. I
Of
liked it.
course, this is where we rank all the Fast and Furious villains as they appear in the movies. So far, the list stands at number 1, Johnny Tran, and number 8, Carter. Andy, Kevin, where are you feeling DK should go?
I think he's better than Johnny Tran.
I'd say DK should go at the top.
You think so?
Yeah,
I
I
would
like-
put him below Johnny Tran. I like Johnny
Oh,
Tran.
this guy's clearly a worse person. I mean, Johnny Tran.
I mean, he's a worse character.
but he's also like.
But
Johnny
they
Tran had the honor of his family. You know what I mean? Getting his face slapped by his dad. We saw that.
You were crazy
Yeah,
if you don't
I-
think that DK
Wasn't
is
being
not
a pedophile.
the best villain.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
Yeah.
the best villain by far.
Again, it's legal in Japan, you know.
Hey, man, whatever.
First off, he has the most amount of screen time of any villain because the rest
Sure.
of the villains are only
Yeah.
on for like
Actually
5
has
seconds.
Story, has backstory,
Yeah.
has reason,
He has a very close talker.
motive.
Cool hair. Very
He's
close
clearly
talker.
the number 1 for now.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah, I go number 1. Yeah.
Excellent.
So it stands now at DK number 1, Johnny Tran at number 2, Carter at number 9.
So DK died.
No.
No.
You
he just
assume the
alive.
uncle killed
Okay.
him.
Good.
No, he's just out of Japan.
Do you have the graphic or no?
So, I have it. I just never sent it over.
It's all good. It's all
sure.
good. Now it's time to rank the Fast and Furious movies. Currently, at number 1, we have the Fast and the Furious, and
Yeah.
at number 2, we have Too Fast, Too Furious. Now, where will we put the Fast and the Furious? Tokyo Drift.
We got to put in number 1, guys.
Gotta go number 1.
You know, it's the strongest of all the movies
so far.
so far.
So far.
So far.
I want it clear. For as much as I love this fucking movie,
Yeah.
it is not the best by a long shot. But so
It's
far,
certainly
it is
better
the
than
best
2.
by a long shot.
And it's aged better than 1.
Yeah, to me, it's like equally as bad as the other ones until we get the Han death moment.
But all
And
the
then the
Han
rest-
living scenes are phenomenal too. You know what I mean?
It's true.
And Vin Diesel coming in at the end.
Oh, what a pop!
See, that's
what
my
I'm saying.
problem.
I wanna
though,
relive
is that I
that
feel
moment,
like
you
this
know?
movie reminds me so much of like you're having a comic book event, and then this is like the tie-in comic.
Yeah.
That I don't care for the majority of it, but at the end I get the great thing, and it introduces Han. Of course, I'm not trying to take away from Han. That's for me why. I stick with me. I had fun with Too Fast, Too Furious. I did not have fun with Tokyo Drift, but I'm not stupid enough to look at this and be like, Too Fast, Too Furious is a better movie, right? So I would still leave Fast and Furious number 1, then do Tokyo Drift, then do Too Fast.
I feel like this is the first movie that we really get kind of introduction to the world of what Fast and Furious will become, where it is about the shocking twist moments. It is about deaths that mean something. It is about a family of characters that we actually like and are invested in. It's also about having slapstick, or not slapstick, but like lighthearted comedy with Bow Wow. And it's also about like having these really cool race scenes. This is
also about
this is the
family.
movie that is most about racing. We get the most races that actually mean something.
There's a lot of training too, and like
There's, like-
learning the mechanics of the actual racing and
And
building cars.
the drift mechanic as well. It's like I feel like they added a layer to it. I just think that this movie does a lot right. It doesn't do everything right, but I feel like it does. It works as a movie. It works as a culture. It works as everything because the soundtrack's dope. I just think so much about this is cool, and especially knowing we end up going in the future. So that's why it's my number
It would have
1.
been great if Sean were just casted better. Like,
Just yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God,
if any, like, I kept talking about this with like Nick and Greg and Kevin of like they couldn't have, there was nobody else
Yeah.
that auditioned for this. Like
Really, anyone else.
like there's tons of movies you watch where it's
Even
like
what's his name? Zachary fucking
Ty
Bryan might have been a better character than
Yeah,
him.
it's-
I know
yeah.
you guys are a lot more critical of him. I found he's not the best actor, but I didn't when I first watched it, I was like, I kind of find him endearing. Like I
I just
like that he's a little
think
devious.
I think that
like
there's
that.
an arc there that works, and I
Yeah,
think that
definitely.
he did an okay job with it.
I like
and it
his
was fun,
character.
yeah.
I just don't like him.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
like,
every
he's
line that he
weird.
delivered, I thought was just
I don't
bad.
know. I didn't feel that. I was like, I like this guy.
Yeah,
There
for
were
me,
many
that's
lines.
what I mean. One of the reasons I probably just don't enjoy the film is just nails on a chalkboard. Like, you know what I mean? I just couldn't get past the performance at all to get into what his arc is or how any of this really plays out.
Yeah, my thing is I know that this is a good movie for me because I love this movie despite him. Like I do not like him, and he's the main character. But everything else is so cool that I'm like, all right, I can see past it.
Yeah.
So I watched this movie flying back from Phoenix, and when I landed, I was watching it on my own, and when I landed, I was like, shoot, should I rewatch this with Paula? Because I think that she might enjoy it. We didn't, but that's just because I was so lack.
But that's how much you liked it.
Yeah, that's how much I enjoyed.
Oh, I
it.
thought you meant we didn't enjoy it.
No.
I did, and it turns out I was wrong.
Right, so wait, where are you guys? You said put
So
number 1.
look, are you guys ready to do
say
the official
yes.
voting?
Yeah, let's do the official vote.
Is this better than Too Fast, Too Furious? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
We all raise our hand. Is it better than The Fast and the Furious? Raise your hand.
See, I'm so 50-50 on this, but I guess it doesn't matter. I get to
matter.
abstain because I don't like that.
Wait, you're not even gonna vote?
No, well, I don't have to. You guys have already voted. But that's the thing is I don't want to put this above. It's better than Fast and Furious, the original, in pretty much every way. But I just can't bring myself to vote.
You gotta
it
break
above it.
that
How much
whole-
did you like Paul Walker and Vin Diesel in that movie? How much did you enjoy?
Remember,
that?
their acting isn't great in that movie.
Dude, Vin Diesel is like just
Dude
miles
almost
better.
had you.
You know, it's bad.
I think in that movie, Vin Diesel's not fantastic. In the future, he gets much
I will
better.
say this. Maybe in a day or a couple hours, we'll do Fast 4, and we'll talk about that there.
Cool.
Yeah.
See you
The
there.
current rankings are number 1, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Number 2, The Fast and the Furious. Number 3, Too Fast, Too Furious. Next
Hungry.
week, we are watching Fast and Furious. They dropped the those, aka
Very
Fast and
confusing when you go
Furious
to look for
4.
it on
Very,
services.
very confusing.
Yes.
I like how Amazon started putting the numbers on them. Yeah. Like there's a little corner thing, like a comic book.
So
telling you
let's
what
let
number
people
it is.
know.
Like, good job.
This is the first movie not on Netflix, so you're gonna have to get on Amazon Prime. Although, if you have any cable service, if you just Google Fast and Furious, it is on TV all the fucking time, as are all of the movies going forward. So
Best way
stay
to watch
tuned
it on
TBS. Extra credit, Los Bandoleros. You can find it on Vimeo. It's 20 minutes, and it tries to tie together what happens in between Tokyo Drift and Fast and Furious 4. It's really weird. Introduces a couple characters. It introduces some main plot points in Fast and Furious. The fourth one, you don't need to watch it. It's extra credit.
I
It's
do
fucking weird,
recommend
and
watching
budget is
it.
out.
I think that it's between 2 and never mind.
Of the movies coming out, it is between Tokyo Drift and Fast and Furious. We will see you next week.
Yeah.
Drive
Until
safe.
then.
At the movies.
Drive safe.
The movies.
No, it's screencast.